Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm glad to see so many of you joining us today. First and foremost, I hope that you, your families, and loved ones are doing well during these challenging times. Few questions to start with. How do we use technology to drive retail transformation? And how retailers adjust their strategies to adapt to the new world post COVID 19? My name is Waddah Laham, Vice President at LS Retail. During this webinar, we will highlight how technology is driving retail transformation in today's world. Some important information before we get started. Everybody is muted by default. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar control panel. We will answer them at the end of the presentation. We will send you a recording of the webinar and the presentation itself. The webinar today will be around 35 to 40 minutes, and then we will have ample time for lively discussion. The COVID-19 crisis has forced retailers to transform at a speed hardly seen before in the industry. In just few months' time, contactless shopping and payment have become mainstream. E-commerce has become a key driver of revenue for many retailers, and new sanitation rules and protocols are now part of daily routines. Even once the pandemic subsides, we can expect some of the changes that occurred in the past few months to last and speed up transformation. They have had to transform their business model quickly. Today, retailers recognize that technology is a strategic imperative to stay relevant and profitable. While every customer of LS Retail is close to our heart, we would like to present one of our long-term customers, who I would say have been with LS Retail for as long as I have. I have personally learned about the solution as our intelligent team was presenting to them. Allow me to introduce aswaaq, who have been quickly adapting the latest trend to drive their business. aswaaq is a retail chain based in the United Arab Emirates. It owns community centers that host state-of-the-art supermarkets, complemented by a range of shops and services. I am very pleased to have Mr. Affan Al-Khouri, Deputy CEO of the aswaaq Group, and Mr. Manoj Vijayan, Director Innovation and Technology at aswaaq Group, joining us today to tell us more how aswaaq is managing to tackle multiple challenges while keeping their customers' needs and their employees' safety at the center. Let us listen to what they shared with us, and then they will join us live to answer some of our questions.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. It is a pleasure being a part of this forum and able to present a little bit about aswaaq. So there are two parts to this presentation. First part, I will be speaking about what is aswaaq and how we started and where we are today, highlighting some of the aspects and issues that we faced with the COVID-19 outbreak around the world. The second half of this presentation will be presented by Mr. Manoj. He will be looking at the investments that we have put in place along the years and how these investments are paying off during COVID and at the current time. So, a little bit about how we started. aswaaq was announced in the UAE Strategy Forum of 2007. We were mentioned by name within a statement by His Highness during this forum, stating we have solutions that are basically dependent on our youth, like aswaaq project, which is based on state-of-the-art technology to minimize need for marginal labor and provide a wide range of opportunities for the youth. With this statement, we have put together the company with the basic lines saying that we will be constructing community centers that are anchored by supermarkets, bringing services closer to communities that are in development around the city of Dubai. So we opened our doors in 2008 with our first location in an area called Nad Al Hamar. This area was considered a new development in the city of Dubai, and we built what we promised, a shopping center that was anchored by a supermarket and provided the services that were of need within that community. Since 2008, we have been very busy. We have split the company into retail, real estate, and trading. The reason we have done this is to ensure that we are able to deliver the best of quality to the end consumer and provide the services required for the communities that we are in. So, for us to ensure the delivery of the promises that we have made, there were teams that were set up internally looking at international benchmarks, investigating what are the best practices, and putting together the policies and procedures for us to work as the years come on. With the strong foundation that we have prepared for ourselves, we were able to be recognized within the region in terms of the quality of service that is presented on the shop floor and the level of operation that is being run on the back end. There are many aspects of what we do that is being benchmarked by others. The icons that you see on the screen are just a few of the awards that were achieved during the years that have passed. Some of the ones to highlight are the Dubai Service Excellence Award, and this is for retailers within the same range of business that we are in. Our highest achievement as of date is the Dubai Quality Award. This award is recognized not only within the UAE but across this region. Focusing on retail and aswaaq, we have tried to design our brand to be appealing for the mass population of the country. Uh, we did not want to fall into a trap of being uh, appealing to a specific nationality or another. Aswaq is the language of all, therefore we say let's all speak Aswaq. As you notice on the screen, our brand is designed to talk to as many nationalities as possible. Today we are serving over 195 nationalities according to our loyalty database. Looking at how Dubai has developed along the years and the city has grown as well, we have adapted to it by giving different types of services to our customers. Today we are serving our customers through our aswaaq supermarkets, through our aswaaq marts that are smaller in terms of size to the supermarkets. We are also online serving our customers across the Emirate of Dubai. Soon we will be extending this service to other emirates as well. In 2018, we have started the operation of our smart store. We named it Inbox. It is operating right now as a prototype within a community in Mirdif, which is an area in Dubai. Also, looking at the possibilities of what can be done online and in lines with His Highness's direction towards increasing the charitable aspects of what the city can present. We have developed a platform for a B2B operation by which we are able to give services to entities, government being or private. At the same time, the profitability from this service will be going towards a charitable organization within the UAE. And this is represented with the platform 509. Looking at the retail side of the business, aswaaq is serving its customers through 11 supermarkets and 11 marts. We have our prototype, which is the aswaaq inbox concept, the unmanned store, and it is being developed right now so it can be less dependent on trust and more dependent on technology. The idea behind it is to place it on a street corner to serve more customers within denser population areas. We are 700 strong employees with a total retail space of 250,000 till date. The number of active SKUs within our database is 27,000. So we come to 2020, a year that nobody will forget. COVID-19 started in February. It started to affect everyone. There was a lockdown here in Dubai, and during this lockdown, there was a restriction on people movement in and out of the country, in and out of the city, between the cities here in the UAE. So it was quite serious. This is in the beginning of COVID. At that same time, there was a ban on people gathering. So there was a restriction on in terms of how people move around the city. We even had a curfew of 7 o'clock, and there's a siren that goes off that would tell everyone, go home. You know, it's the curfew time. And there was a general panic, nobody being aware of what is COVID and how to handle it and how to protect yourself with it. So the government took the initiative and put together many notifications, such as the distances that you have to keep, to wash your hands continuously and sanitize them during the day, as well as to protect yourself by wearing the mask, by putting on gloves. The places that were open, who are fortunate like us to operate during this pandemic, we had to put in place measures to safeguard our customers. So for our shopping malls, we had temperature checks at the entrances where we employed security guards to take the temperature of incoming customers. At the same time, we put measures in place for the supermarket and the surfaces that are touched regularly by the customer by sanitizing these surfaces and also providing gloves for them to use during their shopping experience. The COVID-19 awareness is something that kept on going and still going till today. This awareness is good in a way so that everybody understands what we are dealing with. Since the beginning till now, there has been a huge change in how we are dealing with things. Sanitization is not as frequent in terms of the public spaces, but it is still being done on surfaces that are being repeatedly touched by the customers or by individuals. One of the things that has changed during 2020 due to the COVID effect of lockdown and restriction of people movement and gathering was the usage of internet. Historically, here in the UAE, internet was heavily used for entertainment, but during 2020, this has shifted to online shopping. And online shopping, whether being Amazon or Noon or any other platform, has increased because of the lack of ability to go around the city. And it has also reflected on the supermarket business, where a lot of the consumers were trying to find avenues of how to shop online. This has caused a big change in the way we do business. We were not anticipating at all the surge in orders during this period. And this led us to having a scenario where we were not ready at the beginning of this effect. But what ended up happening is with the collaboration of everyone on board in aswaaq, not only aswaaq retail, but aswaaq trade and aswaaq properties as well, that everyone came together to support the online business and ensure that we are having the ability to deliver these items to the consumers. During this period, we were one of the best companies within the UAE that was able to deliver within the next 3 days of the promised order. Another major change during 2020 was the use of online for networking, not only between individuals but also for learning from home. This is something that a lot of families were not ready for, but they had to cope with it as schools were closed for attendance. And at the same time, there was a huge change in the workplace where employees were asked to work from home. Thank God we were ready for such an occasion, but it was not intentional. In 2013, we prepared an internal policy to allow some of our employees to work from home. The purpose behind it was to allow mothers to take care of children when they are sick, for children to take care of their parents when they are sick, or if any other reason occurs for them not being able to attend the office, that they would have this facility to be able to work away from the office. And in 2020, this came into effect. We were extremely fortunate that we had this in place, and we were able to immediately announce to all the staff that from tomorrow you should be working from home, and these are the tools that are already in place for you to use. So one of the aspects of 2020 was to deal with the situation of having COVID being part of, or starting to be part of our lives. One of the first things that we had to do is to take care of our own. Uh, Being able to work out of office was possible, but also at the same time we wanted to have people within the offices. So we minimized the number of individuals within our organizations for the head office to 30%, and this is only for the essential staff. As you can see from the video, we have taken care in bringing our staff in. We have taken into consideration all the recommended steps given by the government here to ensure a safe workplace. At this point in time, I would like to mention an issue that occurred during 2020, and this was revolving around the elderly. The service level provided to them has decreased due to the restriction in movement, due to the announcements by the government for social distancing and to keep them safe as well. An initiative was created with the team here in aswaaq, and specifically our real estate team. They have created a hotline to service the elderly at their homes. They have volunteered specific individuals from their teams to man the hotline, and also to go and pick the orders for them, to stay online with them over the phone, and to ensure a timely delivery for their items.
Thank you, Afan. This is to explain briefly about our technology landscape. I will touch base only the primary areas, our infrastructure, systems, and storage. We are on Microsoft and IBM. And for storage, we use Nimble. For the back office, we use Zebra and Honeywell for our mobile operation. For the communication switches, we use Cisco. And for the point of sale, we use NCR. About our application, we use LS Central and Business Central across the company. HRMS is from Paylite, and we use a Power App, Microsoft Power App, and the Flow to manage our triggers, especially the decision support triggers connected to our core database. For the payment gateway, we use Network International for our brick and mortar, and for online, we use CyberSource from FAB. The remote connectivity, we use Azure, and for stores to store connectivity for heavy users, we use Citrix. We have e-commerce platform currently running on Nopcommerce. Very soon we'll be moving to Magento. Regarding our business continuity, we are completely on Azure, and we created a platform called IDEA to manage our digital ecosystem. The entire IT governance is based on COBIT framework. Our infrastructure is not heavy, at the same time it's not very light also. However, because of the advent of Azure in the region and our strategy towards Cloud Prime, there is a major change happened in our approach, which minimized the load, compute power and storage on our data center, and also the support. It got so optimized that we may decommission our entire data center soon. Currently, we are decommissioning the exchange. This is regarding our core business solution for the ERP. When we were exploring a solution, our main objective was to have a seamless data flow and connectivity from the point of sale to the general ledger. And the second one was the scalability. Third one was the skill set availability in the region and across the globe to have a continuous enhancement and support. Management of solution remotely. Of course, the cost effectiveness also. So based on this criteria, we were exploring various solutions and approached many solution providers. Finally, we concluded with LS Central and Business Central, which is a right fit for us. And we are on this solution for almost 12 years now, and we are happy and going strong. We would connect to various third-party service providers from EFT to air ticket payment with this system. The scalability is quite impressive. We formed a team to develop our interactive digital ecosystem, mainly for the digital transformation. This was started in 2017, and by 2019 we moved to digital acceleration model. Also, the innovation was already an ongoing activity from the initiation of aswaaq, so we were using always the technology which is currently in trend. This was one of the game changer during the pandemic. Because of this, we were able to scale up many solutions to address the situation. Of course, there is a cost implication, but not heavy due to the level of maturity we are already in. On this platform, we created many verticals like interactive digital system using dynamic QR code, e-publishing, media content, e-payments, information sharing, access through QR code. That is our backbone of our digital ecosystem. The situation really accelerated the utilization of the digital platform. We don't say it's fortunate, but of course the situation is difficult, but we could able to accelerate multifold, maybe 3 or 4 times than an expected pace of acceleration due to the situation. Also, any digital transformation or digital acceleration program, there will be always a resistance from the users, and the learning curve will be much higher at the beginning. Since we started the program 3 or 4 years back, users are well versed on the platform and they adapted well in a matter of days, some of the situation within hours. The same goes to enabling the technology platform in days, sometimes within hours. Just to brief how we really prepared for the pandemic. When it is started around mid of March, we formed a committee. Our primary objective was to have a frictionless experience across the touch points. Had a multiple workshops, and in that we went through various touch points for the employees and the head office staff, how we can move them from office and work from remote, how they can formalize the documents, then about the shop floor, how to manage the cashiers and customer support interaction. When you come to the back office, we were checking how the receiving staff can minimize the interaction with the vendors, and from the technology side, mainly on the data center support and the workstation support. From the customer side, mainly walk-in customers, we were identifying various touch points on the vendor side also, how to minimize the interaction by consolidating the orders, reducing the number of orders by overstocking based on the trend, and we identified vendor portal platform to manage purchase order processing through a digital channel. Also debated on the benefits, both direct and indirect. When you come to financial, there was a lot of administrative cost and travel cost was optimized, which of course suppliers supported us. Since the communication was online, the interaction was instant and action was very quick. For the employee, the benefits are they are very secure and efficient during the situation. Mainly they saved a lot of time on the traveling. Also discuss about the challenges, basically the learning curve, ease of use, the security cost, etc. But we were confident that we were already on that path of the online digital model. Our learning curve was really very minimal. The operation effectiveness measurement we decided to track through the team planners, a list to do These are the apps from Microsoft 365. Our primary objective was to have a frictionless experience across the enterprise. Also, we created a control framework to execute. The decision was taken to make sure all the employees use the tool like Planner, Team, List, To Do, and minimize the email communication, and any new functionality or enhancement which is not critical in nature not to be addressed at all. Also, for the challenges, we created a checklist how to manage the people who need physical interaction. People are not well versed with the technology, especially using the computer, the internet connection speed at home, technology staff to present on site because some of the maintenance may not be handled online, system load, availability of the system, and scalability, the business continuity. As part of the risk mitigation, since some of our users are very new to this practice, to avoid major impact, we created an infrastructure to solve this remotely, and we created some training videos, documents, and shared on the SharePoint platform. Also, we done a survey to understand how many of us needed physical interaction to perform our jobs. Implementation for a frictionless experience. Adoption to the current trend and futuristic technology enabled us to accelerate the transformation and efficient way of operation for customer and employees with minimum learning curve and zero impact on the business. The chart below shows some of the benefits. One of them is the paper consumption, which we could optimize to almost 60 to 65%, and the utilization of collaboration tool, the entire Microsoft 365 suite reached the peak. And also I'd like to explain some of the application we developed during the pandemic. One of the applications is the formalization of documentation, which we using Adobe EchoSign, Microsoft Power App, and Flow. We also converted many forms from physical to digital using Microsoft Forms with approvals. Created a digital business card using the dynamic QR code platform. The entire file sharing moved to OneDrive and SharePoint. We created a small application for attendance system in Kaizala, integrated with our payroll system. The challenge was we were using biometric and we want to have a frictionless attendance system. That's why we created this small application. Move the entire reception operation on a virtual platform using the Microsoft Teams suite, like visitor registration, email to the host, call logging, etc. This can be done remotely by the receptionist. Also, we created an asset tracking system using personal device. So no need for the head office staff to go to the store and do the stock take. All this application or solution we could deploy in production in couple of days, and some of them are in couple of hours. Mainly because of the current setup we have. We reduced the VPN dependency to almost zero because we implemented the Windows Virtual Desktop to make sure they have the connectivity intact and uninterrupted process. Because when we are on a VPN and if something happens to the connectivity, we have to restart the operation again. Also, we regularly check users' internet speed so that they will not have an impact on operation and system load. For the cashiers, we created a frictionless transaction point by involving Etisalat e-wallet payment system using QR code, and we integrated it. We had a regular feedback process through Kaizala and Microsoft Forms to address the users' concerns, and we also created a frictionless checkout point for our aswaaq app, which I'll be explaining a little bit more in the next slide. Frictionless shopping experience with aswaaq app. Aswaaq is one of the first retailers to adapt this technology, providing a frictionless shopping experience and unattended shopping experience in inbox store. We created this app 4 years back for our loyalty members and in-store shopping. During this pandemic, this was enhanced to a level that the customer will have a zero interaction with any of the shop floor staff. Customer can use their personal device, so no need to touch any device given by the store. They can pick the product, pack on the move, and go to the checkout where they just have to scan a QR code and pay using various tenders available in the app and exit. Initially, we were facing difficulty to convince the customer as one of the major challenge to use the app. But during the pandemic, customers started to realize the value of the app, not just frictionless experience, but the time they are saving during shopping. Also, operationally, we can deploy the aswaaq app checkout with 10 times less than a traditional or self-checkout cost.
So, showing the level of percentages, the effect of COVID-19 on the business here in aswaaq from the beginning of the year till December 2020. You will notice that you have a dark blue and a light blue line representing the online and the walk-in customers. There was a huge shift in the customer behavior, especially during the lockdown, where people were forced and programmed to utilize the tools that are in their hands. Everybody has a mobile, everybody has access to internet, and the majority of people started to order online, whether being groceries or restaurants or anything like that. The habit of going online has become more, and at the same time, the habit of finding a more comfortable shopping scenario has become more demanding. And if you notice in July and August, people were allowed to move a little bit more freely in terms of doing their physical shopping. Therefore, options were more available. And this has then eased up or kind of evened out how people do their shopping in terms of the level of physical store visits have started to come up, but not yet to normal. And the level of online shopping has also dropped, but not to what it was before. There would have been a great impact on our customers and our business. We were fortunate to think in a critical way since the beginning. We have put the right measures in place, and we had made investments on things not by saying it would be nice to have, but by saying this is a must to have, so that we can ensure the continuity of the business at any level. Looking at 2020, we can only take it in a positive manner. There were a lot of questions in the past when you were thinking of new technologies. Questions like, what if the internet goes down? What if there is a delay? What if the cloud service stops working? How will that impact my business? Will my local data be available for me to operate? Everything was rotating around the continuity of the business. I think it is about time that we compromise on the risks that we had in mind in the past on investment in new technologies. What 2020 showed us is that if you are ready for tomorrow, you will not be at a vulnerable situation. Be ready for the worst and prepare from today. There are a lot of things that are unseen. Nobody expected that the world would shut down. This has only been experienced in movies, and I guess Hollywood was right at one point. The world did shut down, and we were ready for it. And I think a lot of the steps that we have taken very, very early in aswaaq's history has helped us to achieve a sustainable business during a period where companies have shut down. I am proud to be part of aswaaq. I am proud to have the teams within aswaaq who work as a family, who work in care of one another, and who have truly given their 100% during this pandemic. We would not have been able, no matter what was the technology that we have in place, to sustain ourselves if it wasn't for them. I hope that presenting aswaaq's experience during 2020 is useful and informative to everyone listening. And I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to share this experience. And hopefully we'll be able to meet each other soon in person. Thank you again.
Please feel free to connect with us directly. Please send us any question. We will send you a recording of this webinar, and if you have any more questions, feel free to send it to us, and we will try to connect with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.